we're going through crazy times. And the demonstrations, the unusual hostility and hatred of Jews, and the terrible, terrible lies and accusations, condemnations that are being hurled at the Jews in America, and other places in the world, but particularly concerned in America because this never happened before, is very, very alarming. And something will have to be done. I believe that there is some kind of a response now. Senate, Congress, Majority Leader Johnson made a very, very strong speech defending the Jews. The Jews have to be defended now. But I think that there is another result. These things have consequences. Some of them can even be positive, because many of the very assimilated Jews in the American Jewish community never really had that much of a strong identity with Jewish history. They were aware of it, and I'm not saying that they were ashamed of being Jewish, as some maybe were, but I think the sense in which they now identify with Jews, with Jewish history, with the state of Israel, has increased. I think part of it was because American Jews never really identified with the suffering of other generations, because that didn't apply to us. We were in a superior situation. We were in America, and we derived a tremendous sense of security from the fact that we were citizens in America, and Jews never had it as good anywhere in their history as in America. So that sort of prevented American Jews from having to identify with Jews who were in danger, or even with the state of Israel. They were very happy with America. I think that all is beginning to change now, and you could hear it in the words of, assimilated Jewish celebrities and so on and so forth. They've sort of experienced a shock. They couldn't believe it, that Jews could be so hated and spoken that way about them. This just doesn't ring true. So they're experiencing for the first time that raw hatred, that raw anti-Semitism, and the desire of these protesters basically to destroy them. The protesters are calling for, from the river to the sea, they're calling for the annihilation. They're calling for a Holocaust. This has sent a shock through the Jewish community, and they're beginning to realize that they are Jews. When someone attacks your Jewishness, and even if it wasn't that important to you before, now it becomes very, very important. And then you begin to identify with other Jews, to be sympathetic to other Jews who are going through similar kind of things, and you recognize that you can't escape your Jewishness. It's a very important thing to remember. There's no way you can escape your Jewishness, even if you're not religious, even if you convert. Hitler didn't care if you converted. It was a racial thing for him. So, as a result of that, you develop a more positive attachment. And that's what should happen. It's not just a matter of fear. It shouldn't be just a matter of fear and the need to huddle together. Okay, that's a factor. Maybe it is time to go to Israel. And you do have to become involved in Jewish issues. But you should explore the real reason why we're committed to Judaism, the benefits, the positive side, the fact that we have the Torah, and the Torah has been the source of Jewish behavior, of Jewish ethics, of Jewish morality, of Jewish wisdom. Study Jewish history and look at all the accomplishments, everything the Jews have contributed to the nations, in spite of the fact that the nations were persecuting them and making it almost impossible. No other people has any kind of a record as close to that, especially when they didn't have their own land and they were universally hated and they were persecuted and prosecuted and so on and so forth. And nevertheless, it didn't turn them into people who hated. Jews never became haters. They directed all of their energies towards accomplishments in every field of endeavor, intellectual, in the sciences, in medicine and technology. And look what they've contributed to the world. Jews should take pride in the fact that they're Jewish and explore new avenues in which they can express their Jewishness, learn from the Torah, elevate themselves. And we will write a new chapter in Jewish history and in human history.